As we're surrounded by construction noise outside, welcome to a new little thing that might pop up here and there. It's light rail natter. A quick tour, and we're doing a quick tour of two new railway stations. Michael C, take it away.
Two new stations just appeared on Britain's rail network in as many days. Thanet Parkway on the 31st of July and Portway Park and Ride on the 1st of August. We'll look at each one in the order they opened. Thanet Parkway is situated between Ramsgate and Minster and is, well, a parkway. This means that access to it is primarily provided by this big main road and a car park with nearly 300 spaces, including EV spaces. There is a bus stop outside the station as well, but no services actually stop here yet. Beyond that, the station is linked to the nearby village of Cliffsend by a walking and cycling path, albeit one which takes quite an indirect route as it curves over and around the main road. There is also a less official track used by locals as a cut-through to access the station and get under the railway. The station also has bike parking, both in an enclosed locker and more traditional racks. The station itself is situated on an embankment with two 250-metre platforms accessed by stairs and lifts on each side. Access from one side of the railway to the other is provided underneath by use of this old archway, which I'm told used to be part of a station which previously sat close to this site. Personally, I'm a big fan of how this was able to be repurposed into the design, and it definitely provides some nice character for the station, which, apart from maybe the staircases, is otherwise lacking. A single ticket machine sits on each side of the station, meaning there are two in total. This doesn't feel like a lot for what could become quite a busy station, and to add to that, they also don't accept cash, which really isn't great. The platforms themselves also aren't very exciting. They've been criticised for their narrowness, which likely comes from their position on top of an embankment. Personally, I don't find them too bad. I'd say they probably look worse in photos than they feel in reality. There are several bus stop shelters situated along the platforms, as well as other facilities such as help points and disabled access ramps. The service pattern consists of an hourly high-speed service between St Pancras and Margate, as well as slower trains to and from London on conventional lines at varying intervals. Now on to Portway Park and Ride. Sitting in the shadow of the M5, which dominates the skyline, this station was built next to an existing bus park and ride, hence the name, and situated between Shirehampton and Avonmouth in northwest Bristol. The car park has over 800 parking spaces to jointly serve the bus park and ride and the new station. Unlike at Thanet, there were no EV charge points that I could see, but there was a sheltered bike rack, but not a proper bike locker as can be found at many stations. The station itself is much simpler, consisting of a single platform with two entrances and a waiting shelter at each end. There is a single, again cashless, ticket machine at the northern entrance of the station, as well as smart card scanners and a help point. Portway Park and Ride is served, of course, by the Park and Ride bus, which runs into the city centre every 15 minutes, as well as the rail service, which runs into the city every half an hour, with some services continuing on to Weston-super-Mare. In the other direction, the service also runs half-hourly to Avonmouth, where 50% of services terminate, whilst the other half continues to Severn Beach once an hour. Both stations have this tactile paving leading around them, though it seemed to be more prominent at Thanet Parkway, where it's a larger site and also leads to facilities such as the bus stop, whilst Portway's paving seemed to just cover the station itself, which doesn't seem as helpful to me.
As I said then, if you haven't watched the video, my question to the rail industry: when does this start getting rolled out to existing stations?
And that pretty much concludes my thoughts for these two new stations. The only other thing I could think to mention is that it's a shame that more hasn't been made of Portway and the line it sits on. A major suburban railway cutting through central Bristol, such as the Severn Beach line, really should be double-track electrified in its entirety, with trains running every 10 or 15 minutes like the London Overground. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this summary of the two stations, and I'll hand over back to Gareth now.
Yes, thank you, Michael. Thank you very much indeed. Go follow Michael if you don't already. This is after all a a short natter. No, a light rail natter. Anyway, light rail natter. I'm still working on the name, or at least getting it embedded in my head. This is a little preview because, right, things you need to do. There are it's a 3-part little mini-series of Rail Natters coming up, episodes 179, 181 and 183. Just a hint, maybe pay attention to how many buffer stops you see. Just saying. Just maybe keep yourselves a little count there. But also, in between those episodes are those 3 episodes are 2 other episodes, episodes 180 and 182, where we have guests joining us saying clever things, because it's not just me for once. We have Hannah Lawrence joining us from Stay Grounded, talking about why we should ban private jets to make the world better. And Leo Murray is joining us to basically explain why electric vehicle chargers should be kept off pavements. 2 really, really good episodes. The episode with Leo Murray has loads and loads of data. In fact, both of them have lots of data, lots of infographics. The Leo Murray episode got to a much more traditional rail natter length, let's just put it that way. In any case, that's what's to come. All of these pre-records, because I'm off on some pat leave and some holiday. In the meantime, cheerio everyone.